Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to dive into something that's super critical, but, totally invisible to most of us. It's a place of organized chaos where the journey of pretty much everything you own hits a crucial and sometimes really chaotic checkpoint.
And this quote, it just nails it. It really gets to the heart of what a container yard is. It's this incredibly complex system where tiny little hiccups can snowball into these massive delays that ripple across the entire globe. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to break down the real-world problems that plague these yards, and then we'll look at the digital revolution, the tech that's finally bringing some sanity to all that chaos, making sure the products you want are there when you want them. So before we can even get to the cool solutions, we gotta really get our heads around the problem itself. A container yard is so much more than a parking lot for big metal boxes. It's this incredibly high-stakes crossroads for global trade.
Think of it like a giant, high-pressure sorting center. I mean, picture a place like the Port of Rotterdam or Hamburg, where thousands of containers are constantly being moved and stacked. Getting things right here isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential. It's what keeps global trade from just grinding to a halt. Right, and this is the key takeaway here. How well this one place runs has huge consequences. You misplace one box, just one, and suddenly a truck is late. That truck being late means a warehouse crew hundreds of miles away is just standing around, and delivery schedules get totally thrown off. It's a domino effect, plain and simple.
All right, so let's dig into the headaches themselves. And most of these problems aren't because people aren't working hard, it's because they're working with old school tools, and they just can't see what's happening in real time.
Okay, number one problem. You can't find anything. If you have no idea where a specific container is, a live, up-to-the-minute idea, then everything just bogs down. A dispatcher might send a crew to pick up a box based on info that's hours old, and then they waste all this time just looking for it. You're basically just guessing, and that's incredibly inefficient.
And you're not going to believe this, but a ton of these yards are still running on phone calls, walkie-talkies, clipboards, and maybe a messy spreadsheet if they're lucky. Talk about a recipe for mistakes, for doing the same job twice, and for just always being behind.
Now, this one's a huge, kind of hidden problem. When you've got a low-priority box stacked on top of an urgent one, you end up with what they call rehandle. That means moving a box you don't need just to get to the one you do. It's a total waste of time and energy, and if you have to do that over and over again, the whole yard just chokes on itself.
This is the one you can actually see, the big, obvious sign that things are going wrong. Without appointments or clear instructions, you get these massive lines of trucks just sitting there, burning fuel. Drivers are frustrated, money's being wasted, and the poor folks working the gate are just totally overwhelmed. And last but not least, all of this mess costs a ton of money. See, for every extra day a container just sits there when it shouldn't be, the shipping lines charge these big fees called demurrage and detention. And those fees, they're almost always a direct result of all the other problems we just talked about. Okay, so with all that chaos, how in the world do you fix it? Well, you give the yard a brain, a central digital brain.
So what a yard management system, or YMS, does is it takes all that complexity and it organizes it. It gives everyone, the planners, the gate clerks, the crane operators, one single live picture of everything. It's like air traffic control, but for thousands of steel boxes sitting on the ground.
Okay, this is a really important point. You've got the TOS, the Terminal Operating System. Think of that as managing the big show, the giant cranes lifting containers on and off the ships. The air game, right? But then you have the YMS. That's the ground game. It manages everything that happens once that container hits the dirt. They're two different things, but for a port to run like a well-oiled machine, they have to work together perfectly. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? How does a YMS take a yard from total chaos to being in control? And we're not just talking about adding one new app here. This is a total makeover for how the yard operates. A YMS basically lays out a roadmap. It all starts with step 1, real-time tracking. You get a live map so you know exactly where every single container is right now. Then, step 2 is smart slotting. The system automatically figures out the best place to put each box. No more burying urgent stuff. After that, step 3, automated gates. Drivers can pre-register and they can check themselves in. No more lines. And finally, step 4 brings it all together with coordinated tasks, sending instructions directly to the right people and the right equipment. And this is where the magic really happens. Because now, managers aren't just going on gut instinct anymore. They have real data. They can look at hard numbers, we call them KPIs, like how long are containers sitting around? That's dwell time. Or how fast are we getting trucks through the gate? That's gate processing time. It makes everything visible, measurable, and, well, manageable. Okay, I get it. We've been talking about dwell times and slotting and all this industry jargon. So why should you care about what happens in some noisy, dusty container yard you'll probably never even visit? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. It affects you directly. See, when a yard runs smarter, it's not just the port that wins. It means less money wasted on those fees, it means less fuel burned by idling trucks, and it means the whole supply chain becomes more reliable and can handle more stuff without breaking. At the end of the day, all the little efficiencies we gain in these super crowded logistics hubs, well, they add up. And that translates into a more stable, more predictable world for all of us. It's the reason the stuff you want is actually on the shelf at the store, or shows up at your door when you expect it to. So, here's a thought to leave you with. The next time that package shows up right on time and you get that little delivered ping on your phone, just for a second, think about that hidden, crazy complex ballet of logistics that made it happen. Because there's a really good chance that a clever piece of software wrestling chaos into order in some faraway yard was the silent hero of your delivery.